Look, I know I look dumb now. The rest of the suit hasn't gotten here yet.
Hey guys, my name is Ben. Welcome to On This Day of History with Hammered Historians. Today we're taking a look at April 26th. April 26th, 2015. Nursultan Nazarbayev is re-elected president of Kazakhstan with 97.7% of the votes, which is one hell of an approval rating. I'm gonna guess he probably could have gotten the extra 2% at this point, but everyone else voting just had too much trouble spelling his name. Damn, what a man of the people. They should just elect this guy dictator for life or something at this point. Oh. April 26, 1994. After dying in prison, Nelson Mandela is elected the president of South Africa. Sorry, Peter Wilhelm Botha. Looks like your presidency has just been revoked. April 26, 1986. As seen on the hit HBO show Chernobyl, Chernobyl did a Chernobyl. The USSR government immediately leapt into action by just not telling anyone about it. Unfortunately, the explosion and subsequent radiation leaks didn't make a super Godzilla so much as it just made a bunch of super dead scientists. April 26, 1962. The Ranger 4 probe crashes into the moon. For clarification, sometimes these things are supposed to do that. Not this time though, this one wasn't. This one was definitely supposed to land. But hey, plus side, it was the very first time we'd put something in the side of the moon. On the moon. And it was way fancier than that stupid Luna 2 probe that the Soviets successfully landed 3 years ago. This isn't me being silly. This was the official response from NASA. April 26, 1954. Shout out to the one guy you do want to prick your kids. Jonas Salk begins trials for the polio vaccine. We should have probably kept giving those out. April 26, 1865. Police turned off their body cams and clapped notable presidential assassin John Wilkes Booth. Okay, so this is the part where everything kind of goes off the rails a bit. Because I did like a deep dive here. Like, I've heard like briefly of like the Lincoln assassination conspiracy, which I always thought was just like people wanting to make more conspiracies. But it turns out this one was like the whole fucking conspiracy. So like we know the John Wilkes Booth part. He claps Lincoln, jumps off the stage, Six Semper style, that whole shebang. Turns out that was like a fraction of what the plan was. There were these other three dudes with him in the plan. There was Lewis Powell, a former Confederate Army soldier, David Harold, a pharmacist assistant, and George Azardot, who kind of just worked as a repairman. So the original plan these guys had wasn't just kill Lincoln. It was 3 simultaneous assassinations of the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, and the Secretary of State, all executed at exactly 10:15 p.m. on April 14th. 3 simultaneous assassinations. This is some Mission Impossible shit. This is some Jason Bourne shit. This is some White House Down shit. This is some XXX State of the Union shit. So, the plan was Booth kills the president. Done. Azardot's gonna kill the vice president, and then Powell and Harold are supposed to kill the Secretary of State. And again, they'd like synchronize their time to do this at exactly 10:15 p.m. Bop, bop, bop. So Booth does his thing right on time, knocks it out of the park. Also, side note, his original plan was he thought General Grant was gonna be there. So his plan was to shoot Lincoln, stab Grant, and then just cowabunga over the balcony. But Grant wasn't there that day. So here's the dumb wrong part of the conspiracy. A lot of people say that, oh, there wasn't a guard outside of Lincoln's box at the time. That must have been part of the conspiracy too. But no, that was just him being dumb. Like one of the guys who was supposed to guard him was like visiting family, and like another one, I don't know, just like called in sick that day or something. I didn't research this part too much, but you gotta trust me here. See, what you gotta understand, even if there's like 20 guards there, like Booth is a superstar at this point in time. He could have just walked up to all 20 of them and been like, hey, can I go see the president? And they would have been like, yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, Booth was 26 years old at the time. So it essentially would have been like if the President of the United States went to the premiere of the new Spider-Man movie And then Tom Holland walked up and was like, hey, can I see the president? Like, you're probably just gonna let him in. The reason Booth got the president straw was because it made like absolute sense for him to be there and he could definitely get access. Now, honestly, killing the president in front of a bunch of people was the hardest of the 3 assassinations. Which makes it that much crazier that the other 3 guys goofed up so badly. So Powell and Harold, they were supposed to kill the Secretary of State. Now, the funny thing is, earlier that week, Secretary of State William Seward was in a carriage accident. So he was like, he couldn't even walk around. He was like laid up in bed, he couldn't move. He wasn't even a sitting duck, it was just a duck that was kind of laying down going, my neck hurts. So they walk up to his house, they walk on over. Powell goes in, he's got a gun and a knife. The gun misfires, so he just pulls out the knife and just starts stabbing him in the neck. It sounds gruesome, but it's got a happy ending. So he stabs him for a while, and then after a bit, Powell's like, yeah, that's probably enough stabs to the neck to kill someone. And people are starting to come, so he runs off. But remember how I mentioned that carriage accident? Turns out Seward was wearing a neck brace after the accident, which protected him from all of the neck stabs. Like, he got cut in the face and stuff, but he's still crazy alive, all things considered. And that leaves Azardot going after Vice President at the time, Andrew Johnson. This should have been, the one guy was in bed. But like, this was like an equally easy thing to do, because Johnson was staying at a hotel. Azardot was staying in the exact same hotel, just like 1 floor up. Azardot doesn't even have to go anywhere. All he had to do was walk down a little bit, kind of knock, knock, and then blammo. He's also got a gun and a knife, so all of his bases are covered. But it turns out he just ends up getting blasted at the hotel bar. And then he just wanders off. Apparently he was just sitting there at the bar like, so this Andrew Johnson guy, is he like cool? Or is he kind of a dick? He's probably kind of a dick, right? I bet he's like a giant dick. But yeah, he just wanders off, fucking like tosses his knife into the bushes and just goes to bed. So yeah, entire assassination conspiracy plot, just cascading levels of competency there. Honestly, I'm glad they didn't succeed. And if anything, I wish they'd succeeded a little bit less. But this entire thing kind of just, doesn't it just feel like every group project you've ever been a part of? But yeah, the original plan was triple synchronized assassination. Yeah, just like possibly one of the most insane plots to topple a world government in our history. And it was carried out by what would have been the modern day equivalent of Tom Holland, an HVAC guy, a Proud Boy still angry about January 6th, and a CVS pharmacist. History's weird. That's all I got for you guys today. April 26th? I said 26th. 26th, April 26th. That day in history. Whole day. All those days. And yeah. Got kind of overboard with the Lincoln stuff. I spent like a lot of time deep diving that, and I don't know, it was just weird and fun and cool. I don't know if that was a thing you guys like or don't like, or any of this is stuff you guys like or don't like, but if you want more of that, just let me know, I guess. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, maybe like, share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy, maybe like and share it with an enemy. If you had to suffer, so should they. And yeah, tune in the next time.